This is not a review of Squid Game Season 2. I will not be talking about how the season stacks up against the first or why it's better or worse than you may think. This video is focused on what Season 2 accomplishes from a viewer psychology perspective. And in that regard, I think Netflix has done something truly innovative. Now, what do I mean by viewer psychology? This term probably has some actual scientific definition someone will feel the need to correct me about in the comments, but when I use it, I'm talking about how this show's formatting influences the way that you watch and try to predict this show. Also, before we get into it, light spoiler warning. Squid Game Season 2 has 7 episodes. The first 2 of these episodes are set up, and the remaining 5 take place within the games. And as a viewer, you're aware of this. You know that there are 5 games left to play and 5 episodes in which they can be played. This makes sense from a viewing perspective, and at this point in the season, you're confident that the show can deliver 1 game per episode. But after the first game, a new element within the show is added. It is told to you that the players in this year's games will have the option to vote if they want to continue or go home after each game, which contrasts the first season where players were only allowed to vote on this once. So now, the games can be suspended at any point, and you think, okay, maybe they won't finish the games. Maybe there's less episodes in Season 2 than in Season 1 because the games don't actually finish. And this thought is reinforced when you watch the 4th episode. The second game doesn't start until the end of that episode, and you're left thinking, there's no way they get through all 5 games if the show continues at this pace. So your mindset starts to shift into the other possibilities of how this show could end. Will the players actually vote to discontinue their session, or will some other external or internal factor influence how long the games are played? It was at this point in the season where I started to sit back and appreciate how this particular show uses its medium to its advantage. Netflix is unique because the episodes for most of their shows come out all at once, and the tension of writing time-sensitive trials into a show can be further heightened by seeing the episode list before you counting down in parallel. It's kind of like when you're watching a YouTube video of 2 people that are playing a game that scored best 2 out of 3. When the first game finishes, you can kind of already tell who wins by looking at the video's progress bar. If you're halfway through the video, then the person who won the first game likely wins the second. But if you're only 1/3 of the way through the video as the first game finishes, then you know either player could still win because there are 2 games left. So this presents either a limitation or an opportunity. You risk either spoiling what happens or creating a heightened sense of wonder. And I think Squid Game Season 2 absolutely nails that heightened sense of wonder, because they are always one step ahead of your expectations. As the episodes dwindle down, you start to realize that finishing all 5 games is getting less and less likely. By episode 6, the players only have finished 3 games. So you, as the viewer, know that there's no way that the players will compete in 2 more games in the last episode. So naturally, your first thought is that the players will take a vote to suspend the games and split their prize money. This show has reinforced this idea time and time again, and most of the last episode does focus on the contestants going through their most important vote yet. But because the showrunners have a great grasp of where to zig when they promise to zag, the result is not what you expect. Well, maybe it's what you expected, but it's certainly not what I expected. And regardless of what you thought about how the season ended, getting to that point was an absolute roller coaster of breaking expectations. And I think it was particularly impressive of them to use the show's formatting to enhance the viewer experience. I think Season 2 feels fundamentally different than Season 1, and I think this is a big reason why. The writers took care to not put you through the exact same experience you had watching Season 1, because if they repeated themselves, the show would have felt far too predictable. But in my opinion, Season 2 feels anything but that, and I think they achieved something truly special. I'd like to see other Netflix shows take advantage of using the medium to their advantage. I think it'd be super cool to see a show that advertises 7 episodes, but then when you finally finish that episode, a hidden 8th episode unlocks. Like, how cool would that be? Adding in something to make the experience unique to Netflix, something that could never be done on cable or other streamers that put out their episodes weekly. Let me know if you've seen any other cool examples like this that I may be missing, and let me know what you thought about Season 2 of Squid Game. I know it got less positive reviews than the first season, but I thought it was fun, and I'm really excited for Season 3. I'm probably more excited for Season 3 than I ever was for Season 2, and I think that's an accomplishment in itself. Please also like this video and subscribe if you want to keep up with future videos. Thanks so much, and have a good one.